Kawa Samoa versus the Kiwis. Now, this game is getting played at Eden Park in Auckland on the weekend. And I've already seen some rallies and some fans and some gatherings happening in Auckland, which is going to be phenomenal. We'll quickly touch on the team list. So for the Kiwis, Klokstad's at the back, Ronaldo and Azarko on the wings, Tomoko and Manu in the centres. Halves, Dylan Brown, Jerome Hughes. The forwards, Fisher Harris and captain Leota. The Penrith connection at the front row. Manu Brown is at hooker. The back row is Isaiah Papali'i, Britton Okora and Joseph Tapine. Hey, that's the starting team.
I'd like to get your thoughts. Really happy to see Manu play in the centres because when he plays fullback, he's outstanding, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he has to do way too much.
Yep, I agree with you. I think the season that Chance has had, he deserves to play fullback. He's played fullback all season. Manu, again, is arguably one of the best centres in the world.
Yeah.
But he's also one of the best fullbacks, so it's handy to have.
Yeah, and I fall in love with underrated players. My back in the day was Brian Norrie at Melbourne. I was a massive fan. My current day, and he's off to the Super League, is Manu Brown. I love his story. Came through a lot of injuries. I don't know if you spent any time with him at the Sharks?
Yep, I spent a couple of years with Nu. He was with us in our squad in 2016, 17, and maybe even 18.
He had some injuries where certain doctors told him he probably wouldn't play again.
Yep.
And to get back, I actually think he's a really underrated player. He can play 9 or 13. I got massive raps on him.
I agree with you. I think he's had a lot of setbacks and a lot of adversity during his career. So it's great to see him still just persevering and putting in the work and getting rewarded for that because he's a great runner of the ball and he'll be dangerous if he's close to the line. Samoa better look out. We'll touch on the Kiwis bench. Kieran Foran, Big Nelson after his boxing soiree. Our man Griffin Neame comes off the bench in number 16. So shout out to Griffin Neame, North Queensland Cowboys representative. And your man, Leo Thompson, is that his Kiwis debut?
Yeah, it is his Kiwis debut. He's got a brother that plays, I think, for the Crusaders in the Super League. Great. I mean, him and Griff, both great stories. You must have been so happy to see his name on there.
I was very happy to see Big Griffo. He's had a great year, even though he did have one severe throat injury, but he's well over that. He's got so much potential, the big man. He hits hole with a lot of speed, so something to keep an eye on is his punch into the line. He's got great line speed, he's got a big motor, and he's just a great fella. He's from Greymouth, New Zealand, small little country town in New Zealand. Comes from a very humble family. I've met his family before, just classic country Kiwis.
Is he still the most eligible bachelor in Townsville?
He is still the most eligible bachelor in Townsville.
I don't know what's going on there.
He's about a 2 out of 10, though, with the looks department.
That's right. He's at least a 5. That's unfair. He's got the hide on him, the strawberry blonde hair.
Yeah.
He all seriousness, we've had to interview him a few times through Triple M. He could not be more accommodating. He is such a lovely young fella.
He's a great fellow, very, very humble, very popular member of our squad. Everyone loves to give him a little bit of banter and rip into him a bit, but that's because you kind of care. And
do you know, and I'm putting you on the spot, do you know how he started or how he got to Townsville or how that all happened?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure because I asked Griff this question. I said to him, mate, you're from Greymouth, New Zealand. How did someone like the Warriors miss out on someone like yourself? And he said to me that he went to a carnival, he got an offer from the Warriors and the Cowboys, and the offer from the Cowboys was much better with a lot more opportunity. So basically, he just chose that, and he was really keen to move to Australia and move out of, I guess, his hometown and challenge himself. And I love that about players. If you're willing to move and challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone, and to see guys like him, I guess, break through the challenges of moving to Australia, getting paid in a different currency, living out of home for the first time, away from your parents, away from your friends you grew up with. And now he's playing for New Zealand.
There's some great stories like that, and I think people don't give that enough credit for, young kids, even kids that go to the Super League. And I say kids, Brodie Croft was still a kid when he went over there. Bevan French was a kid. He's just won their Man of Steel award as well.
It's, and grand final.
Yeah. So, I love those kind of stories because I don't think a lot of people realise just how tough it can be for a kid moving from wherever, other end of the world or the country or whatever. And yeah, shout out to Griff. He's been awesome.
Yeah, I think that's an unbelievable point, a very, very good point. We'll quickly touch on this Taua Samoa side. Sualavi Fa'alongo, again, is at fullback. The wingers Murray Talangi and Brian To'o. The centres Marion Seve and Isaac Tungor. Crichton and Arcia still in the halves. Utoi Kamanu and Junior Paulo, the front rowers. Chan Kum Tong is at hooker. Luch and Cons in the back row, and then Keenan locks the scrum. And their bench, again, is a strong one. Spencer Lenu, Terrell May, Helam Lukey, and Justin Matamua. And just noticed here that Helam Lukey and Griffin Neem are both wearing the jersey number 16, and they're really good mates. So
I'll have to do a swap at the end.
I'll have to do a swap at the end. But, mate, who wins this game? This is, for me, I think it's going to be a belter of a game. It's played at Eden Park. I can just envision it right now. There'll be Taua Samoa flags everywhere. There'll be chants. There'll be crowds. There'll be rallies in the street. There'll be cars. There'll be, every man and his dog out supporting Samoa. So, but in saying that, I think the Kiwis win. I just think, I went through their team before. The guys that are selected in their starting team. I just think the quality of players that the Kiwis have had. I think this is almost one of the strongest teams I've seen on paper for the Kiwis. So I think the Kiwis win. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, and Samoa have a couple out. I think you said last week, without Jerome Luai, without their normal halves combinations, or Anthony Milford, I think, unavailable as well. I think that's really the only, I don't want to say weakness, but anomaly, where you've got Crichton playing out of position, Dejan Arce, who's not a bad half, still learning his trade against Dylan Brown and Jerome Hughes, two out-and-out guns. I'll go New Zealand by about 6.
Yeah, I'll go New Zealand by about 20.
Okay.
I just think they win convincingly.
You got no faith. I'm going to text Muzz after this.
Saying
Chad thinks you're a bum and you've got no chance.
Don't do that. I love Muzz. I love my boys, but I am just looking at the paper.
Yeah, fair.
But I hope my boys play well. Mars, I was loved to see him scoring a try. Luke scored a try on the weekend. So, we'll see what happens. But maybe don't let the boys know that I've picked the Kiwis. Griffin plays for the Kiwis. I've got to pick someone.
Yeah. But I don't want to make you look good, so I'm not going to text Griffin. Chad backs you.
You try and make me look bad.
Yeah, I'm going to text Muzz saying, hey, Chad thinks you
Regardless, I still think I can't wait to see this game because I said the crowd and the flags and it almost give you that vibe of when I think it might have been New Zealand or Australia played Tonga at Mount Smart and you saw the sea of red.
Oh, it was so good.
That's the vision that I have for this weekend with the Taua Samoa side, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Mate, we'll move into the next bit and the final bit of today's podcast. We've got 5 questions.
Okay.
That we've come up previously, all just revolved around the NRL and things like that. So we'll start off with the first one is, if you were NRL CEO, what changes would you make right now to the game? Putting you on the spot here too, by the way.
No more state of origin outside of Sydney or Brisbane. I've had enough. As a fan of the game, I couldn't give 2 flogs if it's in Perth, if it's in Adelaide. I get we're expanding, yada, yada, but expand with the regular season games, which I know we do. We had that great doubleheader in Perth last year. The state of origin is so special. And I can't even imagine what it's like to pull on a New South Wales or a Queensland jersey. But you should always do that in front of a New South Wales or Queensland crowd. If you'd ever take it anywhere else, it's got to be maybe Townsville as it did once, or what's this new